it's like, hey.
Good, how are you?
When's your son gone?
It has been a nice balance.
Yes.
Work and spending time with my kids. Enjoying the
Good weather and.
Yep, yeah.
You're ready.
Yes, is he, there he
My son thought he had a very interesting conversation with my son.
Thursday.
Remember we were up there for the 4th of July? He wanted to stay and talk to you. Yeah, my son wants to.
And the board of baseball plays Friday.
And where did,
All in all history stuff.
boys are all at home or girls?
Well, the boys' first round is at
He's much
home.
more interesting.
Boys' first round's at home.
Absolutely.
What's the over?
Oh,
I mean, he's got straight A's, Rick. That tells you there's a huge difference. Huge difference. He's on the phone. Yeah. I think you have a nice tan.
Yeah.
5:30 this morning.
What time?
5:30.
That's terrible.
I got a nap. Hopefully a couple. Jen, where's her wall back there?
they took the court down?
They took the cork down,
What are we doing?
just repainting it.
No court?
No cork, can't get to it anyway over the bookshelf. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and when the art room moved down to the first floor, it was hard to get them to.
Then we'll walk this far?
I think you get some visibility at that corner entryway, the front entryway too. Yeah.
Sounds good. Yeah, rooms in the 52314.5. Just a ways away.
else who would request to speak tonight?
I've asked to bring, that's the only.
What?
I've asked everyone, he might wanna speak, so.
Oh, okay.
I might not, but I might. Well, if you fill out a form and you decide you don't want to, then you don't have to. If I don't fill out a form, I'm silenced. Yep. Okay.
Our first item is the approval of the agenda. Is everything put together that needs to be put together? Entertain a motion for approval.
Motion to approve the agenda?
Been moved and seconded, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Our next item is, all in favor say aye, we did that, approved. Next item is the public comment. Kurt?
Hello, Kurt Hancock, Mount Vernon, and I want to talk just briefly about the Ten Commandments. As you're probably aware, Louisiana just passed a law requiring all public school classrooms to display the Ten Commandments. But I hope you're aware that that's not the actual law. The actual law is that the public schools shall display the Ten Commandments and shall display with a context statement. I want to read that context statement. So the public schools have to display the Ten Commandments and this context statement. It reads, "The history of the Ten Commandments in American public education. The Ten Commandments were a prominent part of American public education for almost 3 centuries. Around the year 1688, the New England Primer became the first published American textbook and was the equivalent of a first-grade reader. The New England Primer was used in public schools throughout the United States for more than 150 years to teach Americans to read and contained more than 40 questions about the Ten Commandments. The Ten Commandments were also included in public school textbooks published by educator William McGuffey, a noted university president and professor. A version of his famous McGuffey Reader was written in the early 1800s and became one of the most popular textbooks in the history of American education, selling more than 100 million copies. Copies of the McGuffey Reader are still available today. The Ten Commandments also appeared in textbooks published by Noah Webster, in which were widely used by American public schools, along with America's first comprehensive dictionary that Webster also published. His textbook, The American Spelling Book, contained the Ten Commandments and sold more than 100 million copies for use by public school children all across the nation, and was still available for use in American public schools in the year 1975. So the Ten Commandments are a very strong part of our American history, and I recommend that Mount Vernon display the Ten Commandments in every classroom, and also a contextual document as far as why. And just in case people are wondering what you hear in the news, and I know something else when I'm not out of time, but our First Amendment, which by the way contains 5 freedoms, religion, speech, press, assembly, and petition. The first one is freedom of religion, which is Congress shall make no law respecting the establishment of religion, establishment clause, or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. Displaying the Ten Commandments with this contextual document as being a significant part of our American history is not establishing a religion. In fact, if anything, it is a free exercise clause, which the Constitution protects, in fact assures that we can do. So I just really, really recommend that Mount Vernon consider displaying the Ten Commandments. Thank you.
Thank you, Kurt. Our next item is our superintendent's report.
Well, I wrapped up my 4th full day today, so just some things to note. I'm not going to go through the memo I shared with the board on Friday, but just some other things I have going on. I did have the opportunity to meet with several stakeholders from the community last week. I'm meeting with the mayor, city administrator tomorrow, some other community stakeholders coming up. I would strongly encourage if anybody comes to you and says they're hoping to have the opportunity to meet with me, send them our way. I'd like to have the opportunity to speak with as many people as I possibly can, and so I don't want anybody to feel like I'm not approachable or not reachable, so send them my way. I'm happy to sit down with anybody. For the guests who are here, I'd love it if you'd stay around and I can get the opportunity to meet you after the meeting as well. As far as other things I have going on, just trying to meet with all the different directors that we have within the district. I'll start establishing regular meetings with our principals and our directors. And then I had put out just a feeler to you all of, I'd love to be able to have one-to-one meetings with each board member and have that scheduled moving forward. So I think what probably would be easiest is I'll send out a doodle, and then you can fill out any of the days and times that work best for you. I don't care if it's virtual, I don't care if it's in person, and then we'll come up with a rotation for that. This allows me to have conversations with you all, build those relationships, and keep everybody up to speed with what's going on as well. So there are a couple board surveys that are coming out. So ISB every year asks districts to complete their legislative priorities, and so I believe we'll have time to do that one in August. I will send it to you in advance. Rural School Advocates of Iowa just put that out. Margaret Buckton sent one today. That one's actually due before our next meeting, and so I will send that out to you all. I'll give you the PDF if you don't mind just filling it out quickly, send it back, and I'll go with the majority to get that filled out for us in the district. So, other than that, just happy to be here and looking forward to working with you all.
Glad to have you.
Thank you. And we're tickled to have you here too. Also, as I was thinking back when Greg first came, the first year, for the most part, board was having one regular meeting every month. Most months, we also had a second meeting every month, which turned into a work session, or was generally a work session. And at that time, we were able to go over the objectives, all those fancy things that we had to figure out, and work together on formulating all that kind of stuff. We won't do that this summer, but I think that's something we need to keep in the back of our mind, that we probably are gonna have to meet extra times in September, October, possibly even November, to accomplish all the many things that need to be accomplished, and set the ship going in the right direction here. So I did want to get that out in the open too. Our action and information items, program division
Nothing in program division this evening.
and personnel division.
With approval of several contracts. These are all replacements of positions that are open. Just to bring it to speed, we still have kitchen openings at the elementary and middle school, I believe, is posting we have again today.
The one obviously, well, the two that may take a little bit of just discussion would be Michael's position and Dennis Gross. Could you talk about those for just a second?
So, had the opportunity to meet with Michael middle of last week and request that he stay on. Worked through several options trying to secure us an SBO for the 24-25 school year. The reality is there are not a lot of SBOs that exist right now in the state of Iowa. An example I've shared with a few people, I reached out to Dr. Grummeyer at Grummeyer Leader Services. He has 2 SBO openings that he's been currently trying to fill, one from December, one from February. So I had a couple virtual options. Obviously, Michael became one of those, given the fact that he's now moved to Illinois. I'm happy that Michael's able to stay with us for consistency and continuity, not only for myself as a transition in, but just for the district as a whole, financially. So as it sits right now, I'm going to work to try and have as many things be virtual as possible. Michael's also aware, though, there will be times he has to be on site, especially as we go through financial reporting and things like that with the board. So we'll work through that. I also had the opportunity, one of my first days here, I met with Denny Gross. Obviously, when I attended meetings here this spring, just how that his retirement was part of our cost savings that we would put back. Meeting with Denny, there's just tasks that need to be done that I really don't think that myself or anybody else administratively is able to do at this point. So Denny is going to stay on in addition to driving bus. I've asked him to do 15 hours a week, not beyond that, to clean our buses, gas them up, open and close the building, and any other routine maintenance things that may come up. And so I'll oversee that to make sure that he's below the hours he needs to be. And then as we talk about staffing and kind of needs throughout this year, there's different opportunities we could consider for sharing with area districts and or if we want to pursue something like that for ourselves. I'm meeting with Sonia, Amy Weber, and Mr. Houghton tomorrow to just talk about transportation as a whole. As it sits right now, I am considering tell you, I'll be very fiscally minded as we move forward, but I think it's money well spent until we get a handle on things, until I can decide how I wanna pay that out, so.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, then, entertain a motion for approval of the contracts as presented.
I make a motion to approve the contracts presented.
Second?
Been moved and seconded, further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Facility division, are there any, things there that need to be addressed?
Nothing in facility for this month, there will be some things that come your way again in August, besides those.
Okay. Have you been here long enough to figure out, are we pretty well squared up out of the activities complex?
So, quick update that, for the most part, we have some just final punch list items that we're gonna go through with Larson. I know there's some credits that have come back our way, sounds like mostly for seating and some landscaping type things, so, I had the opportunity with Chris the other day, asked him to set up a meeting with Larson and our architect to just kind of go through what are these items, so I can get my head wrapped around that. Mr. Day was able to join and walk through right off the bat. Do you have anything else you want to share at this point?
Yeah, just a few, like Mr. Neiman said, it was, just a few punch list items, a lot of things like, we've held back some money from payment for that, and we're able to use that money to possibly go, and spend that where they didn't quite get some things done with the landscaper that they were using. So we're able to bring in a separate landscaper and use some of those funds, for that, so no extra cost for us, it's just the money that we've held back. We're able to spend out of that on somebody who we feel like can get the job done at an appropriate level. And then the remaining balance will get paid to, Larson, on that end. Is that correct, Michael? Is that right? So, yeah, we walked through, and with that new person, with Larson and our engineers, Lauren Hoffman has done a fantastic job of advocating for the district, and so, really appreciate him acting on our behalf, so that was really good. But a few things we get taken care of and knocked out, and, we're good to go.
Okay, good. Good. Moving on, administrative division.
We have a couple items there. We have approval of the student nutrition prices, and then fines, charges, and then student fees for 24-25. You notice there were some small increases within those.
We need a motion to approve those, I'm assuming.
They're going, breakfast is going from 2:20 to 2:30. Elementary school lunch from 3:15 to 3:15, middle school 3:30 to 3:40, and high school lunch from 3:30 to 3:40. Do we have, arrangements for students that, aren't able to afford that?
Yes.
At all levels?
Yes.
Okay.
And those are pretty common increases.
Yeah.
So those ones were, I guess for the nutrition, they're just kind of going right in line with some of the, for the state level, the federal level recommendations.
What are the repercussions if somebody doesn't pay for their meals, but doesn't qualify for free and reduced lunch? Is that something that needs to be looked at? Somebody was telling me that there's a couple open enroll students that been here for a few years, open enroll, but have never paid for a school lunch, and they just never pay the bill. I don't want kids to go without food, but
Yeah, so
that seems
generally,
weird.
sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so generally the rule is you can't impede service for a child,
Yeah.
all children get the meal that's served. What generally happens in my experience is you withhold the ability to add a la carte items. And then you work with the families to be able to rectify those remaining balances if they're not filling out free and reduced. The worst case I've seen is you unfortunately go to collections and try and get some of those dollars back in place. That's never the first or second or third avenue that I would want to pursue. But having conversations of why aren't we able to pay that? And then looking at just kind of our
we hit them with their seniors, because before they can leave, we kind of collect pretty much everything from them. But it's not, that's not ideal. We really try to, once people hit, I feel like the kind of the numbers, like the 3 figures, like if they get it at the $100, negative 100, we make phone calls, we try to talk to parents and set up payment plans. Not even ask for it all back at once, but, so, yeah. That's what we
Steve,
do.
just so I understand, are you saying that if you have a negative balance, you don't get your diploma, or not?
That are just not really legal, but we might kind of threaten it, but we really don't ever really do that. We just push really hard at the end to say, hey, here's what you owe. Here's the
If
things
you
that,
wanna
here's
graduate.
the things that you need to get back if you wanna graduate on time. I mean,
Got it. I just was clarifying.
we can't, no, we really can't withhold a diploma. But we just tell them, here's what we owe before you can graduate, you need to get these things to us.
Okay, are there any other questions? We have a motion for approval of those.
I'll move we approve both. The nutrition, do we need to do them separately or do we do them together? I'm asking like that.
Okay,
Technically, we should probably do them separately, but.
Okay, I will move that we approve the student nutrition prices.
Second.
been moved and seconded, all in favor say aye. Take the student nutrition prices, how about,
I'll move we approve the fines, charges, and fees.
And second.
okay, and that's been moved and seconded. Is there any other discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Board report, are there any reports or unfinished business that need to be dealt with at this time? Get that pretty short meeting.
There's nothing wrong with that.
One thing I would suggest everybody, on our Mount Vernon board committees, if there's a committee that you're on that you don't wish to be on, or you'd like to be on another one, please contact me, so we can get that straightened around. We presently don't have anyone on the Mount Vernon Athletic Booster Club liaison. If there's someone who would like to volunteer to be on that, they usually meet about the first Wednesday of the month, I think.
First Wednesday of the month, 5:30.
Yeah.
Tim hasn't been assigned
Yeah.
yet, right?
He's not
He
on
asked about that
anything.
last time afterwards.
Yeah.
I do think we should assign Tim to everything since.
Yeah.
I think Tim wanted to be on it.
Oh, Tim, okay, so Tim's not here, so we'll put him on.
That's
Yeah.
usually what you do, right?
All we gotta do is vote and approve it, right?
Especially since no one's on it.
Huh?
If you need Kate to do
Supposed to
something
vote
too,
to
she can do
approve
it.
We can just all, I motion to approve Tim to be on it.
Oh, you wanna move that?
I'll second.
Okay, been moved and seconded to put Tim on the Mount Vernon Booster Club, Athletic Booster Club. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oh, that was loudest tie all night. He's there. All right, our consent agenda, Tim's not here for that, but I do have Gary.
I will move the consent agenda. The only thing I would want is more informational is to talk about, since it was an update to us when Rick and I met with you, is to talk about open enrollment, how that's changed.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. Number seemed high. That's the problem.
So, kind of quietly, in my opinion, the open enrollment deadline's changed again. So previously, if you're not familiar, it used to be March 1st was always the deadline. I want to say it was 2 legislative sessions ago, it got opened up, and so there was no end deadline for families open enrolling. So, as you're familiar with, that kind of created like the wild, wild west, as I would refer to as open enrollment, people kind of come and go, and people were shopping. So it just got changed in this last session that as of July 1, so as of Monday of last week, it's now closed again. The only grade levels it's not closed to is kindergarten. And kindergarten, I think, stays open until September 1. So it's still open for families who may forward now for 25-26. Anybody who would like to open enroll into Mount Vernon would have to complete application by March 1st.
Unless, move-in, job, right, correct?
Yep.
Sorry, not even move-in, like, any move, or a change in address.
Yep, so if you became a resident student, then obviously
You're not.
you're not on the board if you become a resident
Do,
student.
Yeah.
do we still have like?
If you had a change in address and you're already an existing student, you can have continuous enrollment.
And if somebody moves like from South Carolina to Lisbon, they can come in immediately to Mount Vernon as well, correct?
I believe so, yeah, that's changed, yeah.
And both districts still agree, is that still an option?
I have to dig in more to
Yeah.
see.
That was the only thing that I had that I thought people would wanna know about. Other than that, I move we approve the consent.
Just on that one, since we're talking about, I was just curious, does that influx that just came in, does it put us in any difficult positions with any grades or classrooms or anything?
Not that I'm aware of yet, so I think we're okay with where we stand on the numbers we just took in, so. And since I started last week, I signed, I think, 6 or 7 applications on the other one, so we worked that out a little bit. The nice thing is this will help us to plan now moving forward, also kind of help people have that finality of knowing that they need to get signed up by March 1, and then we'll have that time and duration to plan for the following school year, which will be great.
Okay, is there a second for Jeremy's motion?
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? School board calendar. We have, our next meeting scheduled for August 12th. Does that interfere with anybody's state fair plans?
I just might be a little late, it's the first day of football practice official,
okay.
and we're starting a little bit later this year, it looks like, and so we'll be talking about it more next week, but I'll be there without the high school.
Okay. Okay, if there's no further business, I entertain a motion for adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye. This might be okay.
Fastest thing to
That's
know.
about as quick as we can do it.
It's our new standard.
Matt, you were talking about, training as a school board.
Yep.
Do you have like time?
So, yeah, sorry, I didn't share that. So Wednesday, I got applied for new superintendent induction mentoring, so I'll get assigned a mentor from the state. With that also, it'll be kind of the first 90 days, and so after Wednesday, in this week's memo, I'm gonna send out maybe a potential timeline we can use for goal setting for the board as a whole, but also for myself for goal setting. And so ideally, I'd like to be able to do that, given the personnel in probably August right away. There's lots of different providers that could do that for us, IASP is one, SAI, ISFIS are all, and then I think Ray and Associates is part of using them for my process as a portion of the contract stated that they would come back and do board learning together. So yes, we will absolutely be talking about that. Just this week, we have to kind of get some ideas of what that could look like,
But before school year starts.
potentially. I think it depends on what availability you all have, and it would be nice to be able, for myself selfishly, I'd love to be able to have some of that before school starts,
Yeah.
just to get things going, so.
Yeah, well, I know Christy, it's you're teaching again.
Yeah, it starts at, what's it, 26th.
Okay.
And Matt told you all that he wants to talk to you, get to know you. I don't know why.
And you said you'll send out a sign-up sheet.
What's the deal?
So a doodle will be, it's super easy, I can do it, you'll be just fine. It'll send you like, select all the dates that are possible for you.
Oh, okay.
So you just check them, and then I'll kind of cross-reference them with my own calendar, and just come up with a common time. And if we have to be flexible, we can be flexible, but like I said, in person's great, if it's virtual, I don't have an issue with that, so.
Thank you all for coming tonight. Unrelated to anything, Matt, last spring you talked about possibly doing something with football,
Parking.
booster about raising money,
You think
selling
it's
seats,
like go
all that?
We have, we talked about it some more, I don't feel good about the seating. I don't like the headache, the potential headaches that's gonna cause, with leaving seats out for folks. There's a possibility with parking.
Okay.
So, we haven't decided that yet, Preston was talking about it and, kinda left it up to him, it was kind of his gig, cause it helped fundraise for that side of it, but, right now, no on the seating, but possibly on the parking, but I'm saying 40%, 40-60, it's a yes, 60 it's a no, so we'll see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, it's the smell test of like equity, you know what I mean, like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's like, I don't know how. Yeah, so parking feels a lot better, I guess, in the smell test than seating does, just because it's like, we can block off a section and put cones there, and I don't feel like that's a big deal, but seating, having an empty seat there in front of you, you know, and then somebody shows up at 7:15, you've been sitting there since the first game, it's like, oh, I already hear enough, you know, blankets, so we've eliminated blankets and, yeah, so.
All right, thank you all.
Just, I'll leave you.
Boys play Friday. And then they play